Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech Thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in Thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and our good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people, and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, with your kind permission, I want to acknowledge the presence of a number of visitors at the public gallery. They have honored us with their presence today to have an eye view of what we do in the House. I start with acknowledging number of students from various institutions. We have the presence of the students from Ave Maria School, led by Mr. Ransford Magnuson. May we see the students from Ave Maria School. That's a large delegation there from the school. You are most welcome. You may resume your seats. They are from the Ablekuma West constituency. I'm sure the MP will have a hand in their visit here. Then we have students from TI Ahmadiyya, referred to as Amas, Kumasi. TI Amas, led by Mr. Gideon Osei Ajapong. May we see you. Yes, you are most welcome. And they are coming from the Subin constituency. Please, you may resume your seats. We have students from Topman Multimedia Institute, led by Mr. Dominic Amponsa. Where are you? Yes, Topman. They come from the Ablekuma Central constituency. You are most welcome. Where's the leader? Dominic Amponsa? Oh, okay. You are leading from the back. That's good. That's good. Yes, please, you may resume your seats. We have from the University of Ghana, Department of Communication Studies, led by Comfort Aku Saka. Where are the undergrads from the University of Ghana? Just one? They're outside. Well, that is a group from the Ayawasu West Wogon constituency. The MP who is a deputy majority whip is here. I may not have the pleasure of welcoming them again, since they are not present, or you will intervene on their behalf. We also have students from the Oasis International School, led by Mrs. Nadu Oleinu. Where are you? Yes, Oasis International School. You are also most welcome. And that is from the Leje Kuku constituency. Leje Kuku. The MP is around? Who said yes? Because I know the MP and I can't see him. Yes. Leje Kuku constituency. The name is very sweet, you know. Leje Kuku. You are most welcome. Please resume your seats. I know the MP very well, Ben Ayiku. Yes. We also have a group of investors from China. They are from a company called Chungming. Now, Chungming is spelled in Chinese, but I'm able to pronounce it. Chungming. May we see you? Yes, you can see them standing there, about 9 of them. The leader is the Chungming. Yes, I got this pronunciation right. Chungming. You are most welcome. Yes, please, you may sit down. Honorable members, I think this is evidence that you might be doing something well here. And so we are getting a lot of attention and people want to come to see for themselves, not listen to the views of others. And so I encourage you to continue that way. And let's get many more people participating in the activities of Parliament, particularly the chamber work. With this, we may now move to item 4. Item 4 on the order paper. correction of votes and proceedings, and official report. We will start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 5th July 2023. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. Sorry, page 4.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. The Honourable Member for Alfano South, the Honourable Johnson Ledu Kweku, was in the House yesterday. Indeed, he was in the House yesterday. Indeed, from the House, he came to participate in the public accounts hearing, my colleague there, and so I don't think that he was absent with permission. He did his duty yesterday.
I remember, where are you? We just got to page 5.
Page 4, item number 3, sub number 1.
Item number.
Members absent with permission. And under that, sub number 1.
I refer to the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 5th July, 2023. Is that what you have?
Yes. We are doing that for Wednesday. Oh, Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. I have that for Thursday. I'm guided.
Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 5th July 2023 is adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now move to the Thursday, 6th July 2023. Yesterday we didn't correct the votes and proceedings. That's why we started from the 5th and now we are at the 6th, which is Thursday, 6th July 2023. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just note that we had 104 members, the majority side attend this Parliament. And I want Honorable Afenimake, the Deputy Leader, to confirm that, because I saw that the people who were here were frankly not more than 20. So I'm very surprised that I see 104. But the leader can confirm. I saw it on my...
Honorable member, you are out of order. You are out of order. You know how these things are compiled. We have officials present in the House here who are in charge of attendance. It's a whole unit of Parliament. And there is a process of getting to know those who have attended the parliamentary proceedings. And I keep on drawing your attention to the fact that attendance to Parliament is not only show of face on the floor of the House. I have the journals office staff here to the left. They are in charge of that. You have the register to sign to show that you are present. You have them here to also observe those who have shown their faces on the floor. And then also they have some of their staff at the various meetings and activities of parliamentarians to indicate that that day you are part of the proceedings of Parliament. And that is why civil society attention should be drawn to this. That attendance to Parliament, if you look at the Constitution, it's talking about Parliament. It's not just talking about the processes and procedures on the floor of the House. And so we have to develop our rules to encompass all these activities you undertake as members of Parliament, so that we don't get a wrong picture that members absent themselves from the work of Parliament. Those who disagree with me are at liberty to go to the court. Honourable members, page 4. Yes.
Speaker, thank you. If I may relaunch my observation regarding the indication that the Honourable Johnson Edukweku was absent with permission. That may not be accurate because he was in the House.
On Thursday?
Yes.
On Thursday?
Yes, yesterday.
Where was he?
We were at Public Accounts Committee hearing together. Yes, it's a colleague. And as we speak, the proceedings is ongoing there, he's there. So I think that the narration may be wrong, that he was absent with permission. He was actually here.
Fair Deputy Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the first observation is that yesterday I was in the chamber from beginning to the end. The honourable member raising the issue was not in the chamber. So he can't speak to who was in the chamber or who was not. The other issue he raises is that the Honourable Edu Johnson was at the Public Accounts Committee. But Mr. Speaker, when a member is marked absent with permission, it means that the member has filed a document for Mr. Speaker's approval that I will not be in the House. So it is not just an observation of somebody. It is a positive act of the person asking that I won't leave to be absent. So I can't see how, after a person has signed and the Speaker has granted him leave to be absent, somebody who was not in the House can get up and make argument other than what the person has applied for. I think Mr. Speaker, not remember for are you a catches out for? is ignored. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, you want to litigate this? Yes?
Speaker, indeed, because this is a House of Records. I am only saying that for this to go into the records as it is, it may be wrong because the member was in the House. In fact, you just dealt with the matter, Speaker. You indicated to the House that there are various sources of gathering this information. So it may not be attendance on the floor alone. But I was at the Public Accounts Committee hearing with him yesterday.
Does it mean you were also present?
So I am just seeking guidance and clearance that the record is when actually when actually if our attendance yesterday is filed on Tuesday, it will reflect that he was part of the members who attended on the public accounts hearing for yesterday, Thursday. That's all that I'm saying. Thank you.
Well, I will have to go behind the submissions you have made, because both of you are right, both positions are correct, but I have to go behind to make sure that what you have said, that he personally was present at the meeting of the Public Accounts Committee, the records there will indicate whether he was present. Again, the First Deputy Speaker was right, because if you have taken a positive step by submitting a request to the Speaker to absent yourself from the proceedings, and that permission has been granted by the Speaker in writing, it means that you are not, in effect, to be present at the meeting. And so if you were so present, the physical presence will undo my written permission. And that's why I say we have to go behind to see whether that is actually what happened. That is why we guide the General's office to do the right thing. So I thank you for drawing my attention, but both positions are tenable so far as the proceedings of the House is concerned. In the meantime, table office, let's do the necessary checkups. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Yes, Honorable.
I'm grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, item number 5, recognition of school. I believe that, Mr. Speaker, you often recognize both the students and the staff, as you did earlier today. The rendition here says the Right Honourable Speaker recognized in the public gallery students from Achimota Senior High School, did not add the staff, and yet continues to say that they were led by Ms. Ya Asoche, who I believe is a staff or a teacher. So I would suggest, Mr. Speaker, that if they can insert the staff so that you recognize students and staff, or students and teachers, so that the record will complete. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I think that observation is right. Table office, kindly take note. When you just say led by, and you don't indicate where the leader is a tutor, is a principal, is a senior prefect, or whatever, we will not be able to identify properly the person. So please, the records actually show the title or position of the person leading the group. So make sure that that is captured. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 10. Page 16. Page 17. page 18, page 19, sorry, page 18, 19, okay.
I'm going to write on the speaker. Right on the speaker, please. Item number 3II, the Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority. The revenue, the R should be in caps.
Table office, kindly take note. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. Page 28. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 6th July 2023 is adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now take item 5. Item 5, business statement for the 6th week. Chairman, Business Committee.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
The chair of the Business Committee is absent with permission. With your leave, I may want to proceed as his vice chair.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, fortified by Order 162, 3, 4, and 5 of the rules of this House, the Business Committee proceeded to arrange the business of the ensuing week, and it did so yesterday, Thursday, and Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 1611 of the rules of this House, I proceed to present the recommendations of the House. Mr. Speaker, in all, we have programmed 45 questions to be answered by the following ministers: Minister of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Minister for Transport, Minister for Trade and Industry, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and finally Minister for Roads and Highways. The Speaker, the Minister for Roads take up the highest number of questions. He is going to answer 12 questions. And the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection would answer 6 questions. Would have 1 for environment, and the Minister for Chieftaincy will have 3. The other ministers would answer 5 each. The Speaker may admit statement in accordance with Order 72, and the Speaker, papers and reports may be laid, motions taken, consequential resolutions, if any, also taken. The Speaker, the Business Committee recommends that in the ensuing week, we do extended sitting. And sitting to commence again at 10 a.m. The Speaker is to enable us take action on some outstanding matters before the House. The Speaker, we have the following bills which we seek to deal with in the ensuing week: the Grains Development Authority Bill, Ghana Industrial Property Office Bill, the Rent Bill, the Budget Bill, Criminal Offences Amendment Bill, the National Petroleum Amendment Bill. So, Speaker, these have been referred to the appropriate committees and we expect them to take action and same considered before we rise. So, Speaker, attached here too is the order in which the business of the ensuing week is to be taken. And we urge members, especially those who have filed questions, to pay attention to same and ensure that they are available to ask their questions. We also urge the ministers to make themselves available, and if there is any contingency, they provide appropriate notice to the clerk at table on time so that the appropriate thing is done. So, Speaker, having so presented the report, may I, with your leave, invite members for their input before I move the motion for its adoption. I thank you, sir.
Oh, wait. Rules, no.
Honourable members, the report of the Business Committee has been submitted. Any comments? Yes.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make some observations in respect of the business statement submitted for next week. Mr. Speaker, yesterday you made a very important referral to the Defense and Interior Committee, if I got it right, in respect of the Narcotics Control Commission Amendment Bill. And your directive indicated that that ought to be taken under a certificate of urgency. And you indeed gave them 1 week to return to the House. So my expectation is that we'll find space next week for that to be dealt with. It's not featured. And then again, there are many referrals before committees, and you have made a point that those committees should work on them and return to the House with their reports so they can be debated and adopted if need be. I want to specifically make mention of 2 private members' bills standing in the name of my brother, Xavier Sosu. And I think that the committee says with those reports should be able to expedite work on them and bring them. So, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
Most grateful, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during the deliberation on the business statement for the current week, a colleague asked a question with regards to when the Parliamentary Friendship Associations were going to be inaugurated. The leader of the House and the majority leader told the House that that would be done this week. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, today is the last day of the week. It has not happened. Looking through the business statement for the ensuing week, there is no indication that this very important and way delayed occasion has been given any room for the ensuing week. Mr. Speaker, this is a very unfortunate and sad development. and it doesn't speak well of us as a house. Mr. Speaker, my heart bleeds because my study of the history of the Fourth Republic indicates that your good self, as one of your contributions, played a very important role in bringing into being this Parliamentary Friendship Association. And to think that during your tenure as the Speaker of Parliament, the 8th Parliament, we are almost concluding our work as the 8th, and yet we cannot even participate and benefit from your brainchild. Mr. Speaker, this clearly, you must agree with me, cannot be something that pleases you. I call on you to intervene and use your good office to ensure that sooner rather than later, the friendship associations are inaugurated. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me listen to the voice of the honourable member for Ho Central.
Right, Honourable Speaker. In the statement presented last week, Friday, the business statement presented last week, Friday, for this week, a question I had filed some time ago, question number 483, was scheduled to be taken today, 7th July. But I found out that it is not featuring in today's order paper, but it has rather been scheduled for next week, 14th July. I want to find out why that has happened.
Yes, Honourable Ablafwa.
I'm most grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I commend the Deputy Majority Leader for the presentation of the business statement. But, Mr. Speaker, there is a very of national interest, which I thought would have found expression in the business statement for this House to address, particularly as that matter, Mr. Speaker, has been of concern to your good. Mr. Speaker, I'm referring to the ongoing picketing and demonstrations at the Buffer Stock Company Limited. Food suppliers across the country have besieged the place, and over the last 4 days running into the 5th day continuously, they have been at the mercy of the vagaries of the weather, sleeping rough. Mr. Speaker, last night the Honourable Minority Leader, and I have his permission to talk about that, he shared a video with me from the grounds, how the women were wailing, rolling on the floor. Mr. Speaker, I was so depressed. I went to bed last night really. I recall, Mr. Speaker, that only last year you paid a surprise visit to the Buffer Stock Company, specifically on the 23rd of June 2022. And Mr. Speaker himself warned. Mr. Speaker had foresight, he had vision. He warned that the situation was deteriorating, and the Speaker was not listened to. Now here we are, matters are totally out of control. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to you that the Honourable Minister for Education and the Honourable Minister for Agric should be programmed to appear before this House urgently. And possibly we should add the Minister for Finance, because we are hearing that the Minister for Education made a request for financial release, and it has not been acceded to. So these three ministers, Mr. Speaker, they have to appear before us. These are our mothers. These are also our children who are starving. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, gloss over this matter for a whole week next week. So I want to make a special appeal, particularly following your visit to the place, your surprise visit last year, so that we can address this matter head on. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was also going to talk about the same issue. I happened to visit the women on Wednesday at the Bufferstock headquarters, and the conditions under which they were living was very bad. So, Mr. Speaker, I remember last year you set up a committee involving education, agri, health, and gender. A committee couldn't meet up to today, and I reminded you of the issue sometime, and I hope that, Mr. Speaker, this is a time again to take a second look at the committee, so that we see what we can, because they are being owed over 278 million Ghana cedis for 2 years, and the unfortunate thing also is that they have sidelined them. They no longer even supply the food to the senior high schools. So, Mr. Speaker, there is the need for Parliament to intervene on their behalf so that government can pay them their monies. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, you have encouraged members of this House to take up the challenge in coming out with a private members' motion, private members' bill for consideration. Mr. Speaker, last year you encouraged us to work on a bill to decap Get Fund, and we laid the bill. You referred it to the Committee on Finance. Mr. Speaker, Finance met the proponents of the bill about it, and up to today, Mr. Speaker, for almost 7 months now, the report has not been laid. I want to appeal to you that the Committee on Finance presents their report to this House so that we know the way forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, the chair may have some reaction to the concerns raised.
Right Honourable Speaker, let me start from the buffer stock issue. I had a good conversation with the Minister of Education. It is his ministry that does the payment through buffer stock. The indication he gives is that every effort is being made to deal with the situation, and that some of the vendors have been paid, and they are doing so in batches. So I believe that it's not a matter that would have to require a parliamentary committee going to investigate. The issue is people are owed and they have to be paid. They've rendered services to the state. They have to be paid. And the minister indicates to me that some have been paid, not all, and that steps are being taken to do extensive validation of invoices presented. So I want to, on his behalf, this opportunity to assure all creditors who are concerned, who are worried, that the ministry will pay them through buffer stock as an entity. The private sector, where they do their business, and those who depend on them would have a cause to be worried, especially as they've rendered services and they are not being paid. Mr. Speaker, I know such a challenge, especially if you go and take a loan from the bank. The bank would be calculating interest against you and your overdrafts and your loan and all that. So the concerns being expressed, my view, that concern. And I think that the minister has heard these concerns. So, Mr. Speaker, that's the response I have in respect of that matter. Honorable Defemako also brought the issue of the Narcotic Control Commission's amendment that was brought. Yes, we were done with the meeting around 10, and you know that normally we come here after the meeting. But this is an important matter. It will be accommodated next week without any problem. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that's all about it.
Yes, please.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. We thank the Deputy Leader for presenting the business statement. Mr. Speaker, at the Business Committee, of which I'm a member, the issue of an indication of when Parliament will be going on recess was raised. Unfortunately, no conclusive hint was given at the time. I just want to remind the leader that we are expected to be rising by the end of this month, we are told. We are still unaware of any indication. So it is upon the leader to give us an indication whether we are rising end of the month or otherwise, because members need to plan their lives before beyond that. Mr. Speaker, my second issue is with regard to an issue I raised last time, of which you gave a directive. Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that since you encourage leadership to deal with the petition from Cocoa Road contractors that has been addressed to you, Mr. Speaker, leadership is yet to initiate or take any decision on that. Mr. Speaker, it might be necessary for you to give us timelines within which to do this work and report back to you, because the petitioners are in anticipation of an action from Parliament to salvage their businesses. Mr. Speaker, the third point I want to make is this. Consistently, Mr. Speaker, ministers have brought bills and things to this House, and some of them hardly turn up to follow up on the bills they brought here. At best, some of them send their deputies. Mr. Speaker, a good example of a minister who is very diligent, one of them is our colleague, the road minister, who is here. He's always here to do his business. But some ministers have brought bills here and have themselves never turned up to take the bills through either the consideration stage or anything. Mr. Speaker, we are serving notice that if you fail to do your business within schedule, do not come and push us to be working into midnight when the time for rising comes, because it's not in our interest, because you have all the time. We can see some ministers consistently prioritizing businesses outside of the House than the businesses they brought to this House. So we are serving notice. Any minister who has brought business to this House and himself or herself will not make him or herself available to pursue the business, we shall not be part of that business, because you have been made a minister and you made a commitment to do business. And parliamentary business must be one of the most important businesses you do as a minister. So, Mr. Speaker, we are serving notice. If you are a minister, you know you have a business on this floor. Do not send your deputy unless there's a very good reason why your deputy must come on your behalf. Do not send your deputy. Learn from the road minister, who is always here to do his own business. Mr. Speaker, with this few words, I encourage colleagues to adopt the report as presented by the very respected Deputy Leader.
Let me listen to the chairman, Constitutional and Legal.
I'm very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek your directive. Something had been going on about maintenance of Parliament in this House. And I do not know if Majority Leader or leadership can take this up. The lifts that we use on the majority side, one had been off for more than 2 years and is still not working. We have reported to the member section severally. Nothing seems to be done. My 5th floor, there is no internet. You cannot print, you can't do anything. We have reported this severally. Nobody seems to. Televisions. Mr. Speaker, our televisions, most of them are out of use. Remote controls are not working. ACs are not working. And if we are not careful and we don't take maintenance serious, a time will come where all the offices will collapse on us, Mr. Speaker. So I pray that this must be taken seriously. This started from the time of Honorable Joe Adaho when he was Speaker. We have made these complaints. With your time, we have complaints, and the maintenance section are not doing what they have to do. I do not know where the problem is coming from, and I'll be grateful if, Mr. Speaker, your intervention would, I am very certain that it will address this problem. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me listen to Honorable, is that Jaja? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's just to remind the Deputy Majority Leader. Earlier on, my Dr. Clement Apak asked about the inauguration of the Parliamentary Association in response by the Deputy Majority Leader.
I will respond to that.
That's okay, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Kudu.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it appears the Deputy Majority Leader glossed over the inquiry I was making about questions which was programmed for today, but which have been taken off the other paper. More so when the Minister for Roads and Highways is in the House today to respond to questions.
Yes, my Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in an answer to a very important question raised about the buffer stock and the issues of payment, the Deputy Majority Leader, while acknowledging that it was a very important concern, felt that there was no need for parliamentary intervention in terms of the question that was asked. And Mr. Speaker, I think it's very important to point out that this is very, very important. It goes beyond simply a payment by a group of suppliers. This has implication to our education and our children, and that is why it's important that we take interest in this matter. So I wanted to draw your attention to that.
First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm seeking your guidance in this respect. Whether at the time of discussing business statement, it is the appropriate time to bring housekeeping matters. Housekeeping matters are not the business of the House. So I was wondering whether it is the appropriate time to bring housekeeping matters and whether we should continue to permit of interventions during this period. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we've taken due note of the comments made by members in respect to the Business Committee's report. We definitely will take on board most of the comments, and we will add to next week's business the report from the Standing Orders Committee on the review of the standing orders of the House. Actually, this was discussed at the pre-sitting meeting with leadership. We will also take on board the Narcotic Control Commission Amendment Bill, which was presented yesterday by the Minister, because the indication was that it's one of urgent nature. So actually it wasn't gazetted. And the rules will definitely play out how the House will handle it. I give the committee 2 days to submit a report. So by Tuesday, there should be a report as whether it's of urgent nature. If it is so decided, then it will form part of the business of next week. We will also deal with the Constitution Amendment Bill. It was also discussed at the pre-sitting meeting. It's an urgent matter, which I think that there is no controversy. Both sides of the divide, both in Parliament and outside Parliament, and also the trust of the agenda of the country is in support of it. So it's something that we can easily process, and it will also come on board. So the committee should take that into consideration. We definitely will endorse the comments made by Honorable Clement Abbas Apak concerning the undue delay in the inauguration of the Parliamentary Friendship Associations. It's a regrettable development. I am charged with that duty of inaugurating the associations. The attention of members were drawn to it. Unfortunately, the list that was submitted to me, honorable members, this is a very important matter, and I want your attention. I saw that some friendship associations are made up of over 70 members, while some countries scored 0. Definitely, I don't think that this House will entertain such a development. And so we are doing all we can to get the friendship associations covering all countries that have shown interest in establishing friendship associations with us. Honorable members, I may be compelled to take action against you. But what I'm talking about concerns you directly. I received a number of many countries urging us to form the friendship associations and also indicating their preparedness to do business with this House. But what I have is not inclusive. And so it's very difficult to inaugurate, because usually we invite the ambassadors, the country representatives, to be present at the inauguration. And for me to invite all of them to come and they see that their countries are not recognized House and not honored with friendship associations, I don't think that would be a good development. So we are a bit embarrassed, and we are finding it difficult to inaugurate this incomplete list. Let me say this. I think that we need a sort of orientation. Many of you are having some perception about some countries that I think are wrong. You stand to benefit more from associations with even African countries more than the supposed developed countries. Don't forget that thing was done by them. It is not a global decision that some countries are developed and some are underdeveloped and some are developing. That was a decision by those who thought that they were colonized and some were colonized. And so they used their value system and their own analysis to classify us as underdeveloped. I can tell you that my grandfather, who used to enjoy the fresh breath of air under the tree, is better than those who are in the forest of story buildings in New York. That is not underdevelopment. Development is about the quality of life of the individual, the human being. It's not about eating perfumed rice. So I saw that some of you have submitted your names in only some countries. It doesn't mean that you can only belong to one, you can belong to more than one. And I realize if you are talking about United States, it's a very long list. United Kingdom, another long list. Canada, South Korea, China, those countries. I can assure you, if you are a member of the Friendship Association with Benin, you will benefit better than being with South Africa or United States. Well, you will never get there. There is no parliament that will send 70-something members of a Friendship Association on a tour to the United States. It can't happen. And so you can write down your names and you will never get the opportunity to go out. But there's no way we can send that large number there. But if you are 5 belonging to Togo, you always get the opportunity to go there. And you learn not only from them, from others. And you get opportunities to do other things. So please, you have to go and rethink over this issue and review your decisions to enable us to integrate the associations. I have the long list. I don't want to mention the names of countries that have come to me trying to get the list of their members to link up their associations here with their colleagues' associations in their countries. Very important nations, very strategically positioned nations, well-endowed nations. If you talk about democracy and the functions of parliament, there are a lot you can learn from them. But I don't know what your focus is. Please, let's rethink on that. I had programmed to inaugurate it a number of times. Because of this challenge, we will not be able to do that. I'm sure that is what happened in this occasion too. So I insisted whether there been a revision, and they brought the list to me. There's not much revision in the matter. So, honorable members, I am urging you to go and reconsider your decision in this matter. Because as I stated, if any association is more than 30 members, I can tell you for sure, you will never get the opportunity to travel to that country. We can't sponsor it. You have been approving the budget. And when you are approving the budget, you forget about yourselves. When I insist that we should be giving more money, you go and say that I am fighting for myself. Me, this boy, I don't need this money. My age now, I only need peace. I need security. I need friendship. I need love. I don't need money. I don't need fiscal infrastructure. I just need society for us to recount our stories until we transit to the other world. That is all. So why would I go for 1.72 billion to do what? But that was a picture that was painted to the Ghanaian people. You know, when we were to approve the budget, you all recall that. Please, take good care of yourselves. Let's program well. And that is why the Budget Act is an urgent bill to get early entry of this House to the priority setting of the country before the budget is finally presented to the House. If we had done that, issues like the buffer stock, because I picked the information long ago, and that is why I did a surprise visit. Some people thought that I was taking away their functions. No. As the leader of this House, the head of the institution, it's important that I keep on drawing your attention as the representatives of the people, so that you can properly represent the interests of your constituents. Now, this is where we are now. And so I agree that the Business Committee should program for the 3 ministers to come before the House. The 3 ministers are the ministers for Finance, Food and Agric, and Education, to tell us why they challenge. We'll be able, executive, to solve some of these problems. That is why we are establishing the Committee on Ways and Means. So please, Honorable Clement Apak, you are on point, and I now wait on your reaction to this matter. The chairman of the Committee Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, because I have high regard for you, that is why I should have ruled you out of order. You have the House Committee and other committees that could handle that matter. But I can only share the information with you that some of the things you mentioned, even the attention of the board, has been drawn to it. Action has been taken, contracts have been awarded. We are only waiting for the implementation. Particularly the lifts, we are aware of the situation. The others, I'm hearing it for the first time because last week they were talking about toiletries. They didn't talk about things like TV, free, air conditions, and the rest. But these are things that the House Committee should work on and report. And it is administrative. This is not the place you raise some of these issues. The issue on the Get Fund bill, I'll take the opportunity to remind committees. There are a number of referrals before committees, and we haven't heard from those committees. I've requested from the table office to submit to me all the outstanding referrals, and definitely sanctions will be applied. If you have any challenge in reporting to the House, the standing orders are very clear. Report it. The House will be in the position to assist you to resolve those challenges. So please, committees should take up this matter and expedite action on them. Let it be known by all that the House is not going to rise on the 9th of August. The House will definitely rise before the 9th of August. There are commitments that the House cannot ignore. We have to be part of them. Some are international and some are domestic. And so we have to be on recess before that. And this is notice to the Minister of Finance to try as much as possible to submit the mid-year budget review and supplementary budget earlier than being perceived. Because we have to work on it, approve it before the 3rd of August. So the last day that the House could convene and sit here in this meeting could be only the 3rd of August 2023. We can't go beyond that. Even the 3rd, we have been late to attending to some international commitments of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So please, I'm told that there was an indication earlier on that the House will rise on the 9th. Disregard that one and then take this one as a guide. Leadership have discussed it already, and together I think that is the appropriate thing to do. The last one concerns the question from Honorable Kudu. I think it's well noted and it will be taken on board. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Just to emphasize that the private members' bills, I
want to thank you for responding on my behalf. But when you're done, I may add a few. Because you are addressing them. And,
well noted. Yes. Well noted. Yes. The private members' bills, particularly those mentioned, will also come on board from next week. And I think that's the reason why the committee have requested that we do extended sitting. And so there will be extended sitting from next week. And we want to urge all of you to be present, particularly some of the key decisions to be taken by the House, like our own standing orders. The standing orders are very key. We want all of you to focus on it. We've asked that the reports be distributed early and then take time to go through. It's a quite voluminous document. The standing orders have been expanded. It's quite voluminous now. And your inputs will be welcome. So with this, I want to thank members, and subject to the comments, the suggestions, those that have been noted, I take it that the business committee report. Yes, the chairman wants to say something. Yes,
yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, without prejudice to all that you've said, I just want to say something briefly on the concerns raised by Honorable Kwame Abuja. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, for instance, all the ministers were here to answer questions. Unfortunately, the minority side was absent for reasons best known to them. That affected Honorable Kodu's question, which was to be programmed for today. Mr. Speaker, we are here to do politics, but we should place the politics right. If you in the minority decide, without recourse to us, that you boycott proceedings because there are matters involving some members, and then you turn around to say that members, the ministers should not be sending their deputies and all that. Mr. Speaker, I would plead with my colleague that some of these matters, let's discuss them. But if you get on the floor and you want to create an impression that ministers don't attend upon their house, that would be misplaced. That would be unfair. So please, let's engage. Let's engage. It's a political decision you've taken. It's your political right. We can't take it away from you. So please don't turn around and accuse ministers for not attending upon their house. Mr. Speaker, that's the point I want to make. I thank you.
Yes, Chief Whip.
Right, Honourable Speaker. The deputy leader got me totally wrong. Indeed, I suggested that there are ministers that have been diligent in responding to their business on the floor. Let me give you an example. The Attorney General brought a number of bills to this House. he hardly turns up in the house to take the bills. We see only her deputy, and I'm saying that, but he's always in court doing other business. I'm saying that the same interest he's got in court cases, he should prioritize his business on the floor. That's all I'm saying. You understand? He is Attorney General to prosecute people. Yes, I agree. But he's Attorney General to do bills on the floor as well. So he should choose between which one is a priority to him. Yesterday, yes, he was in court prosecuting colleagues. This morning, colleagues are here. He should come and prosecute his business on the floor as well. That's what we are saying.
I will not enter into the arena of conflict. I can only plead with the executive. If they cannot make matters here much easier for me, they should not make it weightier for me. I expect cooperation from the other arms of government, the executive and the judiciary, for us to be able to perform our duty here. After all, democracy is about Parliament. Democracy is not about the executive, it's not about the judiciary. It's about the people. And the House of the People is Parliament. And so that's the only plea I can make. And I'm sure that both the executive and the judiciary will take that on board. With this, honorable members, the Business Committee has presented and commented upon is adopted as the business for next week. Item 6, questions. We have the order paper and then order paper addendum. So I'll start with the questions on the order paper, and then along the line, my colleague, the First Deputy Speaker, will take over from me. So question number 734, who stands in the name of the Honourable Member for Wa East, Honourable Godfred Sedu Jasau, to the Minister for Roads and Highways. And the Minister is invited to take his appropriate seat and be prepared to answer the question. Honourable Member, you may ask your question now. Yes, available leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, once he takes his seat, I just want to assure you that the communication has been well communicated to him to act right, and he has assured. Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Are you it's a message that the members don't understand, which means that it's at the wrong place. This is not the audience for such a message. But you see, as a leader, I can't rule you out of order. Yes, Minister for Roads and Highways. Yes, Honourable Member, Wa East. Yes. Yes, Honourable Member Wa West.
Mr. Speaker, I have the authority of Dr. Jasau from Wa East to seek your leave to take the question on his behalf.
Yes, leave granted.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister of Roads and Highways when the Fonsi Town roads in the West East constituency would be completed. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this same question was asked on 3rd March 2023. I'll start with the background. The China-Sandima Road is a classified 13-kilometer inter-district road connecting the Busa North municipality to the Katsina-Nankana West district of the Upper East region. It is an engineered inter-district gravel surface road in fair condition. Mr. Speaker, the bridge in question is a 10-cell culvert with varying dimensions located at kilometer 8.95 from Sandima. The culvert has lost its structural integrity and is gradually caving in. The Municipal Assembly has been advised to take the necessary steps to block motorists from carrying the road to save lives and properties. However, Mr. Speaker, commuters have the alternative of using the highway from China to Chichiliga to Sandima. Mr. Speaker, there is no program on the drainage structure currently. However, the future program is that the Department of Federal Road has carried out an assessment on the drainage structure and has recommended a 4 by 3 meter box culvert to replace the existing structure. The works will be considered under the emergency funding in the Ministry of Roads and Highways under the 2023 budget. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister, I was lost in following your answer because that's not what we have on the program. I don't know whether you were reading a different answer. I think the question asked is question number 734. 734. What I have here, the answer is at page 20 of the order paper. What we read is not captured.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the 734 is the Funsi Town Roads. Funsi Town Roads. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Funsi is the district capital of the East District of the Upper West region. The road network within Funsi Township is 10.23 kilometers. Currently, Mr. Speaker, there is no upgrading or rehabilitation program on the town roads. The future program is that engineering studies and cost estimates preparation will be completed by end of July 2023 for upgrading of the Funsi town roads for consideration by the ministry. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any supplementary question?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Minister, you are talking about preparation in July 2023. Funsi is a district capital and, in fact, one of the deprived districts in this country. Is it possible for us to find a line in the budget for 2024 covering the rehabilitation of the roads in Funsi Town? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, exactly the deadline was to finish the estimate preparation for the road, the internal roads, by end of July 2023, and we are in July, and I can say here categorically and on authority that we have almost completed that exercise. And once it's completed, obviously it will find a place, in the 2024 budget line. I thank you.
Any further supplementary?
Right on, Mr. That will be all for now. We want to, on behalf of the people of Quincy and the Wise constituency, thank the Honorable Minister for the foresight, and we hope to benefit from your very active role as a Minister of Roads. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We now move to question number 864. Stands in the name of the Honorable Member for New Ejubiase, Mr. Adams Abdul Salam. Honorable Member, you may ask your question now.
Mr. Speaker, I have the authority of the Honorable Member to ask the question on his behalf. With your leave.
Yes.
I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the progress of work on the construction of the Nkrafo Nkwanta to Hwidiam Road and when it will be completed.
Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I begin with the background. The Nkrafo Nkwanta to Hwidiam Federal Road is identified on Department of Federal Roads Road Database as Nkrafo Nkwanta to Hwidiam Federal Road of length 14.5 kilometers. It is a connector road located in the Adansi South District of the Ashanti region. It is an engineered gravel road in poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the above feeder road was awarded in 2 phases as follows. Phase 1, contract for the upgrading of the road was awarded under the project titled Upgrading to Bitumen Surfacing of Nkrafo Nkwanta to Hwidiam Phase 1 feeder road of length 7 kilometers. The contract was awarded on 9 September 2020 and commenced on 30th December 2020 for completion by 29th August 2020 with funding from Cocoa Board. Progress of works to date is as follows: clearing 100%, earthworks 90.0%, concrete works 85%, sub-base 100%, and base 100%. The contractor abandoned the project due to delay in payment after achieving about 45% physical progress. Warning letters have been issued to the contractor to return to site and expedite action on the physical progress. The contractor has expressed interest in remobilizing to site when payment is effected to complete the outstanding works under the contract. Phase 2, contract for the upgrading of the road awarded under the project titled Upgrading to Bitumen Surfacing of Nkrafo Nkwanta to Hwidiam Phase 2 feeder road measuring 7.5 kilometers. The contract was awarded on 20th November 2020 and commenced on 14th January 2021 for completion by 14th January 2022 with funding also from Cocoa Board. Progress of works to date is as follows: clearing is 100%, earthworks 20%, concrete works 10%, sub-base 65%, base 100%. The contractor abandoned the project due to delay in payment after achieving about 21% physical progress. Warning letters have been issued to the contractor to return to site and expedite action on the physical progress. The contractor has expressed interest in remobilizing to site when payment is expected to complete the outstanding works under the contract. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you may do so.
Honourable Minister, so when will the payment be effected? When? Because it's the outstanding thing that is delaying the contractor from completing the work. When will payment be effected?
Minister, when will the outstanding payment be effected?
Mr. Speaker, we have taken due notice of this particular project. It's under Cocoa Board. It's not directly under my ministry. We do the supervision for them. And I'm happy to announce that the roads, all the road projects under Cocoa Board are being put together and worked on by the new Minister for Agriculture. Because, as you know, Cocoa Board is under agriculture. So he has taken that step, and we have even scheduled a meeting for it next week. So I'm going to sit down with my colleague Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Brian Champon, next week to look specifically at Cocoa Board roads and the outstanding payments. So this particular road project will be taken into consideration. So steps are being taken to do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any more supplementary?
That will be all, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, just to add that, Honourable Member, I am aware of the efforts being made to pay outstanding arrears owed road contractors, whether highways or urban or feeder or cocoa roads. And in view of the number of questions that are filed here and the pressure being put by the contractors, leadership of the House have taken interest in supporting the ministry to get some adequate funding to respond to that. I am leading the team, and I want members to take this on board when we are even looking at the mid-year review and supplementary budget for us to make adequate provision for government to respond to the outstanding arrears on the roads sector. So I'm aware of what the minister has just stated, and we'll take that on board, but we need all of you to come on board to respond to this, the wide gap between the demand and the supply. So please, I can confirm that. Yes, we'll now move to question number 882. The question stands in the name of Honorable Kwame Govins Abuja, the Honorable Member for Adaklu. Honorable Member, you may ask your question now.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity and also thank our colleague, a very diligent colleague, for appearing once again on a Friday to respond to our questions. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the status of toll booths and welfare of toll booth operators across the country.
Honorable Minister, you may answer the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this is about the third time my good friend Kwame is asking this question. Kwame, this is the third time or so. Mr. Speaker, the toll booths throughout the country are in fair condition. However, some routine maintenance will be carried out on some of them. There are a total of 38 number bridge and road toll stations across the country. Out of this number, 18 are managed by the Ghana Highway Authority, whilst the remaining 20 were managed by Toll Booth and Management Limited, a private entity. Mr. Speaker, the total number of workers employed at the toll stations were 661, out of which 195 were employed by the Ghana Highway Authority and 466 by TRML, that is the Toll Route and Management Limited. Mr. Speaker, out of the Ghana Highway Authority workers, 92 were persons with disabilities. Out of the 466 employed by Toll Routes and Management Limited, 190 were persons with disabilities. A total of 282 workers with disabilities were therefore employed to man the toll booths. The Ghana Highway Authority workers had 6 months contract renewable upon satisfactory conduct. Toll operations ceased in November 2021. However, the workers were paid their full salaries up to December 2021. The contracts of the workers ceased thereafter. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank our colleague, the Minister. In the first paragraph of his answer, he said, and I read, the toll booths throughout the country are in fair condition. However, some routine maintenance will be carried out on some of them. May I find out from the Minister if any routine maintenance have been carried out on any of them since the cessation of collection of the tolls in the country?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it depends upon the extent and degree of maintenance being looked at here. But I can say that we have close eyes on all the toll booths, and where we have to carry out immediate routine maintenance. Yes, we do. About 2-3 of them have had some few issues and problems occasioned by accidents, and we have taken steps, for instance,
Honourable members, the First Deputy Speaker will take up the chair
to work on that.
Yes, I will continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the maintenance culture is being strictly maintained and is ongoing. But I know that, yes, we have to step it up and improve upon it. I thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. May I ask our colleague, my senior colleague, at the time of the cessation of the collection of the tolls, government intended, and the words were, the phrase was, we will re-engage the former toll workers, especially the PWDs. Can the Minister confirm if any of the former toll workers have since been re-engaged by any agency under government?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yes, that assurance was given, and is still ongoing because a lot of proposals are being considered. And once we settle on the next stage of the toll booths, we have to make sure that we have done adequate consultation, even including taking it up with our committee in Parliament, Roads and Transport Committee, about the way forward. So when we settle on the modalities and the way to go, because the toll booths have just been suspended, not completely abolished. So once we decide on the next line of action, then we will be in a position to do the recruitment. I thank you.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for the assurance. I'm happy that he is not forgotten the fact that the former workers are still there in anticipation of being re-engaged. I thank him for the opportunity.
Question. Yes, honourable member. Now you are the
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek your guidance. Looks like there are many questions to be asked. The Deputy Attorney General is here and she has 2-3 bills to lead. But I agreed with the other side that we could do that on Tuesday. So with your permission, if her presence could be dispensed with whilst we consider. To the bills. So that's the only reason why she's here. So with your permission, if she can attend to other businesses now, with your permission. And then Tuesday she comes back for this. It looks like we are flouting the 1-hour question time. Thank you.
Well, it's past 1 o'clock and we have only done 3 out of the numerous questions. So I think there's no likelihood of going beyond the questions today. So I think she can go and her issue will be rescheduled next week. Very well. The next question is question number 1172 to be asked by the honourable member for Karachi West, Ms. Helen Adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways whether the ministry has plans to construct a bridge over the Oti River in the Oti region to improve turnaround time for passengers and traders.
Yes, Honourable Minister. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dambai is the regional capital of the Oti region. The Volta Lake crosses the Oti region at Dambai. The government intends to construct the bridge at Dambai to link Karachi West, Karachi Nchumuru, and the northern region to the southern part of the country to facilitate the transportation of goods, particularly foodstuffs and people. The span of the bridge is about 1.5 kilometers with a dual carriageway width of 15.65 meters. Currently, Mr. Speaker, there is no contract for the construction of the Dambai Bridge. However, the Ministry of Roads and Highways has received a preliminary design proposal which has been reviewed by the Ghana Highway Authority. The proponent will review the proposal and resubmit to the Ghana Highway Authority. The future program, Mr. Speaker, is that following the acceptance of the proposal by the Ministry, a detailed engineering design and costing will be carried out for the construction of the bridge. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, in the Honourable Minister's answer, the Honourable Minister is my good friend, he did say that there is currently no contract for the construction of the Dambai Bridge, but however, they're looking at a proposal. Mr. Speaker, I would like to know from the Honorable Minister, because His Excellency the President on the 10th of September 2021 promised the good people of Oti region and reassured them that he was going to leave the biggest legacy in the region and that the bridge will be constructed before his tenure ends. May I know from the Honorable Minister whether, after looking at the proposals, whether this bridge will actually be constructed by the end of the tenure of His Excellency the President? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yes, I can confirm that His Excellency the President made that pledge to the good people of Oti region. And the pursuit to bring that pledge into fruition has not ceased. It continues. We have had engagement with two previous proponents, but they couldn't go through the evaluation process for the project. Now there is a third proponent, and I can tell you I can give you the name of the current proponent, the China Engineering number 5, and they have brought solid proposals which has been reviewed and found acceptable by the Ministry of Roads and Highways, as indicated in the answer. It's gone back to them with our comments, and I believe in about less than a month from now, we expect a response from them. And this company, this new proponent company, is very promising. It looks as if it has what it takes to undertake the job. So, once promised by His Excellency the President, the program is on course, and definitely the project will take off during his tenure, even if not fully completed by the end of December 2024. I'm sure it would have reached a substantial completion stage, which might be completed by January or the following year, 2025, and commissioned by the next president of the New Patriotic Party. I thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honorable Minister for this assurance, but I can assure him that my people will take him on if this project.
Do you have a further question, Honorable? We don't want your threat. Do you have another question, please?
No. I'm satisfied because he's actually assured.
Very well. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
Question number 1175, in the name of Gomoa West, Mr. Richard Jan Mensah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the construction of a bridge over River Ochinakwa connecting Gumamem, Antati, Gumamem, and adjoining communities will commence.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the proposed bridge over River Ochinakwa on Gomoa
Antesiaji to Gomua Main Feeder Road is located in the Gomua West District of the Central Region. Currently, there is no bridge program over River Uchi, Nakwa, connecting Gomua and Chiaji to Gomua Main and adjoining communities. The future program, Mr. Speaker, is that the bridge has been programmed for construction under the Austrian Bridges program. The engineering studies and the design of the 40-meter span steel bridge has been completed and currently under consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for his response, but I would like to find out from him if he can give any timeline for the commencement of the bridge construction. As he said, they have programmed it under the Austrian bridges, and it's under consideration.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have a number of bridges, and here I stated that it is being done under the Austrian bridges program because of the span. Because we have Belgian bridges, Czech bridges, Austrian bridges, but because of the span, the 40-meter span, that could be obtained from the Austrian bridges program. But fortunately, we have all these bridges, the components are in the country. So after doing the groundwork, we now have to select the contractor to begin with the civil works by building the abutments to the bridge before we do the formal launching of it. So the bridge is available. The 40-meter components are with us. So I will entreat you to link up with me and my ministry from now onwards so that we work together to work on this bridge. I thank you.
Yes. Do you have any more follow-up questions?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I will thank the Minister, and then, as he said, I will follow up with him in his office. Thank you.
Very well. Question number 1175. Sorry, 1752 by the Honourable Member for Sutifi North, Mr. Patrick Bano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the route from Tepa to Goso, that have regional capital, will be awarded to a contractor for construction to commence. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Tepa Gosu Road is a regional road known as R63 that traverses Tepa, Maban, Achirensua, and Fidiem townships. The road links Esutifi South and Esutifi North to the Ahafu regional capital, Gosu Esmafu North Municipal. The road surface is partly bituminous and partly gravel and in fair to poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the road has been packaged into two different projects for upgrading works under the project titles: upgrading of Tepa Junction to Gosu Road, that is between kilometers 55.8 to kilometers 63.3, and partial reconstruction of Tepa Junction to Gosu Road between kilometer 24 to kilometer 55.8. The projects were awarded on 4th January 2015, and
18 February 2016 respectively for completion by 17 October 2016 and 4 March 2019 respectively. The projects are being funded by COCOBO. The projects were suspended by the employer in 2017. In 2019, the employer issued instructions to the contractor to resume works. However, works resumed in 2020. Currently, works on both projects have stalled, pending approval of variation orders by the employer. Physical progress to date estimated at upgrading of Tepa Junction to Gosu Road 90% and partial reconstruction of Tepa Junction to Gosu Road 79%. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister indicated that there is a variation order awaiting approval.
Sorry, I want to be sure. The question was asked by the honourable member for Sitifi North. Is that right? Mr. Patrick Bano. You are. So yeah. Why are you on your feet, Honourable Deputy Minister? Supplementary question to be asked by another person? No, please.
Yes, please.
No. You may continue, or if you want anything, you can tell him. But please, it's the same person who has a question,
Mr. Speaker,
who has the opportunity to ask a supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the supplementary question because the road passes through my constituency.
You wait. When he is done, I may give the opportunity to another person.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't have any supplementary question, but because the question is not constituency specific, that's why Honourable Ivasopoku wants to.
Very well. So you are done?
Yes, I'm done, Mr. Speaker. Well. Thank you.
And how does the question interest you?
Because, Mr. Speaker, I'm interested in the road because the road passes through my constituency, Esunafu North, and we also happen to be
so
the
let me
regional
hear your
capital
supplementary
for
question.
region. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister indicated that currently there is variation or order awaiting approval. I want to find out from the Honourable Minister, when will the variation order receive approval from the employer?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I did indicate in my answer that the project is being funded by COCOBO. And if we talk about variation, Mr. Speaker, we are simply talking about varying the scope of the project. And once you vary the scope of the project, it has a direct effect on cost, on the estimate. So the COCOBO, which is funding the project, should indicate to us, because we are only supervising the project. So they should give their consent and their concurrence to it. And that must precede the approval of the variation order. We are in touch with COCOBO. They haven't given us that prior approval. So if they give it to us, that they will be able to absorb the additional costs, which definitely is going to be occasioned by the variation order, then it will be approved. So I believe that could be done any moment from now. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. I'll move on. Question number 1775 to be asked by the honourable member for Techiman South, Mr. Martin Kwaku Adjournment Sakosa.
Speaker, the honourable member has asked me to ask the question on his behalf.
Very well. Permission is granted. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways plans the ministry has to construct a bypass to ease traffic congestion in the Techiman Township, caused mainly by heavy-duty trucks moving to and from neighboring Burkina Faso. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Techiman Township is directly accessible via the N10 highway. It is a transit town for vehicular traffic, mainly from Accra and Kumasi to the northern part of Ghana and vice versa. These transiting vehicles go directly through the CBD, which negatively impact on traffic flow and pedestrian safety. And CBD is the central business district. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Urban Roads has identified the need for an outer ring road or bypass for the Techiman Township to divert transit vehicles, especially the buses and trucks, from the Central Business District. Department of Urban Roads has collaborated with the Physical Planning Unit of the Techiman South Municipal Assembly to propose a 38-kilometer route for the Techiman Outer Ring Road. Department of Urban Roads will forward a proposal to the Ministry for further studies on the proposed Outer Ring Road. I thank you.
Yes, any follow-up question, please? No, we do have any follow-up questions?
Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm all right. I thank the Honourable Minister for the response.
Question number 1789 to be asked by the Honourable Member for Upper Denture West, Mr. Daniel Ohinedako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the contractor working on the Denture Aguna Port to Esua there, then to Denture Adiadi Road will return to site.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Denture Aguna Port to Esua Day to Denture Adiadi Feeder Road is identified on Department of Federal Roads Road database as DIASO, that is Denture Aguna Port to Esua Day to Esaman Feeder Road, measuring 25.7 kilometers, and Denture Adiadi Junction to Denture Adiadi Feeder Road, also measuring 3.8 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, the DIASO to Aswadi Esaman Feeder Road is an engineered gravel road in poor condition, whereas the Denture Adiadi Junction to Denture Adiadi Feeder Road is an engineered gravel road in good condition. The two roads are located in the Upper Denture West District of the Central Region. Currently, Mr. Speaker, contracts for the upgrading of the above roads were awarded as follows. 1. Upgrading to bitumen surfacing of Diasu to Esaman Feeder Road. measuring 9 kilometers. The contract was awarded on 30th October 2015 and commenced on 16 February 2016 for completion by 15 February 2017. The completion date was revised to 19 September 2021. Funding for the project is from COCOBO. The progress of work to date is as follows: clearing 100%, 70%, borrowed or filling 76%, concrete works 50%, sub-base 85%, base 55%, primer seal 25%. The contractor abandoned the project due to delay in payment after achieving 71.7% physical completion. Warning letters have been issued to the contractor to return to site and expedite action on the physical progress. However, the contractor has indicated that remobilization to site will depend upon when outstanding payments are effected. 2 or B, upgrading to bitumen surfacing of Adiadi Junction to Adiadi Feeder Road of length 3.8 kilometers. The contract was awarded on 30th September 2020 and commenced on 2nd April 2021 for completion by 2nd April 2022. The completion date was revised to 3rd December 2022. Funding for the project is from COCOBO. Mr. Speaker, progress of works to date is as follows: clearing 100%, cutting 100%, borrow stroke filling 98%, concrete works 98%, sub-base 100%, base 100%. The contractor abandoned the project due to delay in payment after achieving 60.7% physical progress. Warning letters have been issued to the contractor to return to site and expedite action on the physical progress. However, Mr. Speaker, the contractor has indicated that mobilizing to site will depend upon when is effected.
Yes.
Honorable Minister, I think time that you have served one letters to the contractors. I'm wondering what the rationale is. What's behind the warning letters? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
And you find the answer interesting because it's the employer that you want to indicate that the contractor shouldn't issue a warning letter. That's why you find the answer a bit appreciation of the issues involved. Every contract, the of course between the contractor and the contractor is telling the employer that give me the job, I will execute to full completion. That is why if a contractor issues or raises not for the payment, it starts attracting interest on the contractor to say merely that because I have not been paid, I have abandoned site. A clear demonstration that you lack the capacity to execute the work, and the employer has every right so any employer has every right to write to a defaulting contractor
on them. And they still haven't returned to sites. What have you done about it? Because the community need of
Minister, have you done anything else apart from issuing the warning?
thank you, Mr. Speaker. As for payment, so if it gets to this contractor's turn, and he must also government is also looking for money to pay all contractors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
the site will depend upon when outstanding payments are effected. Can you assure us as to when?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have indicated clearly that is ongoing. And you can see from the answer that projects. And as we have issued the warning letters, any moment that money work, but he is obliged to go back to site. And if the contractor completed person to because the people cannot wait, indefinitely for that particular contractor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. The ministry is taken to construct the following roads in the offensive municipality. 1. Offense to Aswai.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the whole offense to Ayesha to Namong to Kochi, measuring 5.5 kilometers, Kochi to Ampabami, roads. Just because they are engineered gravel roads with poor surface condition. Were awarded in 3 different packages as follows. 1. Grading to measuring 6 kilometers. The contract was awarded on 11th March 2020 and commenced on 15th April. 10% physical progress. 1. Letters have been issued to the contractor. However, there is not procedures to terminate the contract by the end of third quarter 2023. Awarded on 11th March 2020 and commenced on 7th April 2020 for completion by 7th April 2021. The performance in relation to the contract period elapsed and shows lack of capacity to upgrading to bitumen surface of Amwari Namon Feeder Road, also measuring 6 and commenced on 7th April 2020 for completion by 7th April 2021. Funding is from the Ghana Road of Feeder Roads has initiated the necessary contractual procedures to terminate a contract by the road. Mr. Speaker, this road is 23 kilometers long and located currently there is no program on the road. Future programs, Mr. Speaker, is that engineering studies which would be considered when funds are made available to the Department of Federal Roads 2020 budget. Municipality of the country, it is a gravel surface road. 9.3 kilometers is in fair condition. The road. Engineering studies have been conducted on the road for upgrading to between
Yes, Honorable Doctor.
The Honorable Minister for the detailed response. Mr. Speaker, looking at as the Minister indicated, these contracts will be terminated by the end of the third quarter. The contracts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
keep saying contractors hurriedly come for projects, they satisfy all the conditions the project. I'm not saying the employer, being government, should also the contractor instance. If we do everything possible and it will be alternative. And Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague knows this. And we are working on it. I thank you.
Yes.
Find out from the Honorable Minister. Speaker, the highways and pedestrians as well. So I want to find out from the honourable.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
It's a proper bridge, and if it's a bridge, whether it's a steel bridge or concrete bridge, or at times, it of course, describe them as bridges. So I will liaise with him to know exactly and deal with it. On the other hand, if it's a boss culvert, we will investigate of the boss culvert, and something should be done. So I will urge, Mr. Speaker, respectfully and humbly, my
Yes, I thank the Honourable Minister. But I've written, but I will send a reminder. And it's about Minister, this road is in such a terrible condition. The people living along the stretch that is so comfortable. I'll be most grateful, Minister.
Honourable Minister,
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kindly hold on. Honourable members, having regards to the state of the business of the
House, particularly during this period of rainy season, that we shall keep close eye on the road to bring it under our ongoing whilst we continue to find a permanent solution to those road projects. And in the honourable member's constituency. So we shall do whatever we can to minimize the
Thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You are discharged. The next set of questions, take his seat. Question number 1288.
To be asked by the Honourable Member for Southon, Mr. Kwabena. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Youth and Sports how COVID-19 protocols were observed at the time of March 25th, March 2022, the COVID-19 restrictions were largely eased. Thus, the COVID-19 protocols, the wearing of face masks, the washing of hands, and the use of implemented on the advice of the National COVID-19 Task Force. Mr. Speaker, I must say that qualifying match for the World Cup meant a lot to Ghanaians and, of course, their Nigerian counterparts, residents in Ghana. From the 25% to 100%, and this was secured on the 23rd March 2022. However, protocols. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Any follow-up?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, the Speaker rise to ask the Minister for Youth and Sports what accounted for
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Honourable Minister.
made attempts to enter the stadium at all costs to watch the match. However, the mindful of the capacity of the stadium and the consequences of allowing overcrowding, of the stadium were broken, and supporters without tickets made attempt to enter the peripherals of the inner perimeter, but these were prevented. Was brought to my attention. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Number 1734 to be asked by the other member for Fifth Central.
Colleague made time.
There's nobody on his feet. That's why.
Yeah. I'll ask a question on behalf
Please
of
go ahead.
Okay. What plans the ministry has to construct an astroturf in the Abenfi Central?
on its own budgetary allocation and within the levels of allowance of the fiscal space, and also partner with public The idea is to ensure that no constituency is left out. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to reiterate that as a
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, that's fine. We can go to the next one.
Very well. The next sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. I rise to ask the Honourable Minister for Youth and Sports.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, government in 2017 started a new regions. Government intends to continue with the construction of the youth resource centers in the 6 new regions. When the first
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, new youth resource centers, when the first 10 that we have started have completed and there is funds. So once
When as we speak, we have no timeline. Can you say that to the mic so they'll be on record?
Speaker, as we
Very well, honourable members. That brings us to the end of questions for today. We thank the
would like to deal with item 11 on the other paper motion.
Yes, honourable.
Mr. Speaker, I had a discussion with my colleague, so we are okay to do.
That this House received its decision 15th of June 2022 in respect of the adoption of the report of the Financial Import VAT, Get Fund Levy, Import NHIL, ECOWAS Levy, AU Levy, Exim Levy, one district, one factory.
Yes, yes.
Right, Speaker, second motion.
House. Any other of the House adoption
number 11 on page.
We are entirely in your hands.
Very well. Enough members, it's past 2 p.m. already. The House is accordingly adjourned till